here we are, welcome to pack 3. And this pack still haven't opened a Jace in this format. Well, I want the record to show that I still haven't opened a Jace, and I feel I deserve to open a Jace. So, yeah, the only 2 cards here we could really pick. I mean, it's a weak pack overall. You know, the best cards are Bloodfray Giant, Spawn, Injunction, Inspiration. I mean, there's a lot of kind of average, not that one, that's terrible, E cards in the pack. I think for us it's Drudge Beetle versus Armory Guard. And I think I'm going to take the Guard, because we've got 2 Guild Gates now that it goes well with, and we've got a lack of 4-drops, distinctly. And this guy's good, you know, he holds the fort really quite well. He blocks most things in the format effectively, and I like him. Also, it's worth noting we don't want to take as many creatures as possible for our Wayfaring Temple. Worth remembering that. But, yeah, shuffle our curve on by 1. Okay, so there's a Sphinx of Chimes, Sphere of Safety. God, I love the Sphere of Safety deck, but not today. Really, I think this pick boils down to Gatekeeper Divine or Seller of Songbirds. Last time I took the Seller. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half token maker things. I think I'm going to take the Gatekeeper Divine, because while I'd like to pick up a couple more token makers this pack, I don't think we're going to get enough playables if we don't play the Void Wheel or the Guild Mage and the Azure Charm. And these 3 cards are all good cards. You know, this is kind of a blue splash, but it's a good blue splash. You know, these are all fairly first pickable, I'd say. Not in kind of the pack we had just now. Not kind of a pack with Sphinx of Athun in it. Chimes, sorry. But in the kind of pack we just opened, those would all be fine. Now here is a card. One brilliant card. This is the card that makes this Lesnia deck. It's such a blowout when you get a good Rootborn defenses. You know, you make a 3/3, you eat 1 or 2 of their guys. Yeah, this card is the real deal, I'd say, Rootborn defenses. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you will just use it to stop a removal spell, and it's pretty bad. But the fact that it's normally better than that means it's so much better. Most noted here, Fencing Ace, which I like. Again, it's good to strap that enchantment on. Maybe we'll wheel that or a Giant Growth. I wouldn't mind having like a Giant Growth type effect in this deck. We haven't got one yet. And here it's just Trostani's Judgment, I reckon. Not unhappy to see more removal spells. I think that Trostani's Judgment is I'm always hoping to draw it when I have them in my deck, because it's a removal spell. Once I've got to 6 mana, I want to draw Trostani's Judgment. This is what I want to do. It's also a Dryad Militant, but not every deck wants it to, 1 for 1. Swift Justice, again, happy to wheel. We'd like a combat trick. And a Sunspire Griffin. I'm not expecting a ton to wheel, but it feels like we're not going too badly this pack. It feels like we're ticking along. So there's Lobber Crew, which is a fabulous card. We're not taking it. We're taking Concordia Pegasus. I used to value Vassal Soul quite a lot, and then I thought of it like a more expensive Windrake, and it just is a bad Windrake. And now I don't value it much at all. Whereas Concordia Pegasus helps hold down the fort, which we need. And yeah, it's generally just a fairly good flying dude. Still no Azorius Guild Gates. That's so annoying. Oh man, it's going to be terrible at this rate. So I think the next pack is our last chance to pick up an Azorius Guild Gate. Possibly the pack after. Which pick is this? 35. I can't count. Well, back Rhino at 5. I think I'd rather have the fine 2-drop in Keening Apparition. And there we have it. The last possible opportunity, possibly second to last. We finally get an Azorius Guild Gate to fetch up with our Gatekeeper Divine. I think 1 island and that should probably provide enough blue sources, so it's possible we'll run 2, because we can with our 2 Celestia Guild Gate. I'm glad we're not having to pick it over like a Trostani's Judgment or a Centaur of some kind. So yeah, more than happy. Grab a Guild Gate, last possible opportunity. Ooh, this is interesting. Second Guild Gate, so we can run 2 Guild Gates in an island and just have the smoothest mana in the world. Or an Avenging Arrow. 28 seconds. Let's build a deck. This is 27. Don't want to play Goblin Ooze. Don't want to play these Axebane Stags. Don't want to play the Horncrawler's Charm. 14 seconds. That's 23. So what would we be replacing with the Avenging Arrow? Probably Druid's Deliverance? Oh, Aerial Predation. Yeah. Avenging Arrow is probably going to be better than Aerial Predation, even though 2 of them is awkward. And I would like, better mana, but yeah. Swift Justice will play, I expect. Ooh, Fencing Ace. I mean, currently we've got just Death's Presence in terms of things that go with Fencing Ace. But that'll do. I mean, this guy's so good as soon as you get anything on him that I'm happy enough to take him. And he normally, he trades up quite a lot of the time. He'll trade for something, and that's fine. He shuts down a few of the, Rakdos cards, like the Rakdos Shred Freak, or whatever. Just can't attack into a Fencing Ace. Just eats them. And, yeah, the fact that he eats anything with 1 toughness, and can trade with anything with 2 toughness, makes him, I think, fine as cards go, and gets so much better, potentially. So one thing we didn't manage to do is pick up quite as much ramp as I was hoping. So we've ended up with a lot of 6 drops and 7 drops, and then a lot of 2 drops and 3 drops. But hopefully our mid-game, Druid's Deliverance looks like a 2-drop, but it is in fact a mid-game spell. So hopefully that'll keep us ticking over. Yes. So I'm not unhappy with how this deck's turned out. We're like a bomb short of being insane, I reckon. But for now, I'll put the Risen Statuary in. There's a chance it doesn't make the deck, but not a large one. Same with the Void Wielder. Centaur's Heralds get in there. I think we put in the Populate plan for now, and then we can take it out later if it's not working out for us. For now, we'll say the Swift Justices are maybes. Same with the Fencing Ace. Yeah, we'll see how we feel about that. So this is 23, as it stands. Drag down all our non-creatures. Druid's Deliverance is a non-creature, even though we do plan to populate with it the majority of the time. It is still a non-creature. Whereas Courser's Accord is in fact a creature, because it makes 2/3/3. It's a double centaur. So we've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. Ooh, 8 and 2 halves. 8 and 3/4. Token makers. I tend to count populate effects as half a token maker, because you can populate something and then trade off one of the original tokens and then populate the new token that you populated, kind of thing. And so populate, it's quite, it synchronizes well with itself. Synchronizes is not the right word. It works well with itself there. It's a much better word. So, cards we could cut. We could cut some of the blue cards, though I don't feel we have to. We've got a Gatekeeper Vine, we've got 3 Guild Gates, so we should be fine. Because we could put a Swift Justice or a Fencing Ace or a Goblin Ooze into the deck. We could cut the Risen Sanctuary, but I feel like getting up to 7 mana and being able to just plonk down an 8/8 and win the game off it is fairly effective as ways of winning go. And Concordia Pegasus, it's a wee bit dorky, but I don't want to be replacing creatures with non-creatures too much, because we want as many creatures as possible for Wayfaring Temple. So right now we've got 12, 13, 14, 15 creatures, because obviously these are creatures, and then these are a creature and a half each. Yeah. So let's get our land on. Land. What do you suggest, Mono? 4, 3, 7. I don't feel like that's happening. Let's pass by colour. Yeah, we want white in the middle, don't we? It's like doing Shards of Alara, this is. White in the middle, blue-white between the white and the blue. Green-white between the green and the white. Blue-white sources, green-white sources. So yeah, I feel like we want to go to 8. Can I go 1-6?